you're like me and you have lots of things that you need to accomplish aside from the car projects, this is one for me. It's my heavy equipment trailer that I need to get back together again so that we can start hauling firewood. But I also have a great big truck that I need to haul home with this that I've owned for quite a while, but I don't have it home yet. And so today we're going to take you through the process of how to pack a wheel bearing. It's a simple thing. Not everybody knows how to do it. If you do know how to do it, it might be good for review, and maybe this video is not for you, but how to properly pack and install, not in that order, wheel bearings. I'm Mike, and this is My Car Shop. This is an assembled trailer that's been on the farm forever, and it has been neglected for a long time. Matter of fact, we've already done 2 wheel bearing sets, and we're doing the 3rd one today. Then we'll get into the other side, and hopefully we don't have to buy too many sets of wheel bearings, but too many more. But anyway, so today we're going to get this off of here, drive out the outer race. I already got the inner race out, but I'll show you how to do that, and then we'll start installing the new bearings. One cool thing about this is, if you've been around the channel for any length of time, you know that almost every week I do a run to the Goodwill and to a resale shop and to the Restore to see what deals I could find for things either that I want for the shop or things I can flip. Well, about a year ago, I was in the Goodwill and I ran across this brand new in the box national bearing for $2.99. And lo and behold, when I was digging around here to see what I had for this trailer, brand new in the box, exactly the right part number, never been installed, $3, saved us 20 bucks. That's cool. Glad I had that, glad I bought it. That's one of those things you buy on speculation that you might need it someday. So anyway, then I picked up the other bearing and race at AutoZone, and we're going to get this together today. So if you've ever looked at a bearing as it's installed in its hub, you can see just a little bit of the inner edge of the bearing race, and that's what you want to get against. I'd show you, but there's no way you can see it. But I'm just going to take my chisel here. It's a flat chisel, there's no edge on it, and I'm just going to push it down in there against the inside of that race and tap on it on one side, then go up on the other side. It's nice and moving. I can see it moving already. And I'm kind of just placing that. I'm kind of wedging it against the inside of the hub on the back. There we go. Moving. There's different ways to do this, but this is the way I like to do it. I don't think our race came out. I think I just popped out my... Nope, the race has moved out about 1/4 of an inch. I just happened to knock my punch out. So you just work your way around. I do it in 4 different positions, because you don't want to get too far in one way and then you'll kind of angle it in there. There it goes. So that's your race. So I'll show you what we're pounding against. So this race would have been in there like this with the cone out, so your taper out, so your cone would go in. And I'm just on the back side of this pounding against this here. All right, we're going to get this cleaned up because it's full of dirt and zoots and old grease. And then we'll get ready to start putting our new bearings in. I already took the back one out. Like I said, this was the one I actually got the part numbers off of, so I would know what bearings I needed to buy. So yeah, clean up, boring.
Clean up on aisle 3, clean up on aisle 3.
Now in order to put the races in, I do it a little bit differently, but not a lot. I already checked this to know it's the right size because I've already installed a couple of these. So I just try to get it as square as I can in there, and then I take a piece of aluminum and just start tapping. And again, it's a little crooked, so I'm going to look for the high side. Just kind of start driving it around. I'm using aluminum because it won't scar the bearing surface. Boom. There we go. Now we're down below our lip here. We've got about a good 3/8 of an inch to go. Almost there. There's another little lip in here, so you got to kind of move in a little bit. That's the nice thing about aluminum. It'll kind of mold itself around what you need to do. You can tell by the way it sounds, and that's why I like using aluminum, because I slipped and it didn't hurt a thing. Took a chunk out of the bar. Okay, I think we're in all the way. Yep, we are. So then it's flip it over and lather, rinse, and repeat on the other side. I'm going to blow that out because there's some zoots that got in there from pounding, which is to be expected. Hello, kitty. These eyes aren't scared of much. They don't like the sound of air, but they come right back. What do you think, huh? Okay, so it's the same thing. Get this one out of the barks. And of course, you got to make sure you put your taper in the right way. Making sure I did that one the right way. So this one goes in the same like this. Okay, and we take our aluminum and just start tapping it in gently. About less than a quarter to go. Again, we're hitting that lip I was talking about. So I got to kind of make sure I'm on the bearing and not that lip. Makes it a bit tricky. There we go. Once you get below the lip, it's easier. And you can hear the difference when you hit the bottom. I think I just hit it. Yep, I did. Yep, we're sandwiched against the bottom. So there we go. Our races are in. There's the outer one. Meow. There's the inner one. So now we got to pack the bearings. We'll start with this one. Another piece of Zutz. Looks good though. I'll bring you over here and show you. So there we go. And we're not worrying about brakes right now. We need to put brakes on this, but I don't have the fundage to do that. We'll get this done, and then we'll get brakes on 2 of the 3 axles I equipped for brakes. So we'll get the brakes on it. But right now, I just want to get this thing back on the road so we can use it without worrying about bearings going out. So, all right, here we go. So I like to do them by hand. I have one of those tools for the grease gun. You put your bearing in, you screw it down. But even though this is messy, I prefer to do it by hand. And the way you do that is, first of all, making sure your hands are clean. And you're literally, it's called packing the bearing for a reason. It's because you are literally pushing this grease. So you can see I'm kind of rubbing against my hand and I'm pushing this grease. Okay. And now if you look, you can see the grease is coming out the other side of the bearing there. I hope you can see that. And that's what you're doing, is your goal is to push the grease on the backside if I can do this so you can see it, and make that grease come through the bearing. And you go around and you do that all the way around. You're packing the grease into the bearing. I know some guys will just slather grease everywhere and throw it together. If the bearing doesn't go out, I guess it works, but this is the proper way to do it. So you go around the whole thing like that, and of course the more grease you've packed in there, the better it gets at coming through, because you're filling up that bearing inside. You can see as I'm going along here now, it's happening a lot faster. Yes, you make a bloody mess all over your hands. We're already over halfway there. Bon Jovi would be proud of us. The initial packing takes a while. Once you get it partway around there, it goes quicker. And then you can tell if you're in, because, yep, so we got just a little bit more to do. And it moisturizes your hands. I turned the camera off, except, yeah. Okay, that one is packed all the way around. Yep, 100%. You can see it's all the way through. So, and it's stiffer than a stiff thing. Very good. So I'm going to set that on that box right there for a second, and then take a bunch of grease, put it down in there, put it into the hub. I like to run it around on the race. The main reason I put it in the middle, it's not necessarily necessary to be in there, but it does keep that hub from rusting. Okay, so that one's in, like Flynn. So then we drop our bearing in. Nice and, very good. Yes, nice and packed. Now I had the seal over there. I checked the seals, they're fine. I don't need new ones. And I'm going to be taking this apart to put brakes in it anyway. So at that time, we will deal with seals if we need to. All right, I'm going to shut you off, pack the little one, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we got it all torqued down and everything. Now we just got to put our wedges on. These things are always opposite of the way I think they should be, because where it says wheel is meaning the hub, and where it says whatever else it says means the rim. So it makes sense. This is the wheel, this is the rim, you know. So I've been confronted about me calling things wheels and tires and putting on rims and stuff like that, saying I'm not using the right words. Well, actually, my terminology comes from cars from the 20s, which had a wooden spoke wheel and a rim that bolted onto that, and then the tire that went onto that. So yeah, kind of modern ones are rims and wheels are one and the same, where this is almost the same way, where you have a wheel and a rim. So, you know, because I don't come from the modern era of nomenclature, I'm going to move that around a little bit. There we go. Oop, too far. There we go. Just want to keep that valve stem away. I use terms that people that don't come from my background don't use terms that people understand. So anyway, I got these all there now. We're just going to snug them down a little bit. Of course, we got to make sure that our, there we go, things are in the right spot there. That one rotated on me. I hate that when that happens. Okay. Hello, kitty. Okay, that one needs a little bit of lubrication. Okay, so it's nice and straight. I just got to get this one on there with a little lubadobber because it's really gooba gobbered. All right, there we go. This one feels like maybe could use to be a little tighter. Got one bearing that's got a slight bit of noise, but it looked good, so I'm not going to worry about it. That one's perfect. That one's perfect. So winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay. It's been there for a few weeks, but now it's done. And it looks good too. So cool. Well, there you go. We're halfway there. Bon Jovi would be happy. I do need to get a couple of washers, the washers with the flat on it. So what happened was the one on the front here, the bearing seized and spun on the shaft and caused all kinds of hell, and it caused that washer that's in there to split apart. I was going to weld it back together again. I couldn't find it. I had it just a couple hours ago. I put it somewhere where I wouldn't lose it. Can you relate to that? Anyway, so I decided to go ahead and just pull one out of the other side. So I pulled one out of the back. It was just a plain flat washer. It wasn't one of those washers with the flats in it. So I went to the middle wheel and pulled that one out. So I'm going to need to get a couple of those washers because I can fix the one, but I'm still another one short. And I'm sure they're only, $1 a piece or something. So we'll just go ahead and get some new ones ordered and get those put in there so that if a bearing spins, it does what it's supposed to do and keeps from shearing off the cotter pin and the nut, because that's what it's there for. Because if you didn't have that in there, just a regular washer, and something spins, potentially it could grab that nut and shear off the cotter pin, and then you're in a world of hurt. So, all right. Well, it wasn't sexy, but it's about spending the day here in the shop. I did some work on the Challenger earlier that I didn't film, but I did get the idler arm in on that. I'll share that bit of that I have on film with you in the next episode on stitches. I've been working on the roof on my lean-to. I've been working on the tent out back. There's just a lot going on because it's fall, and I wasn't getting any real content stuff, and I thought, packing wheel bearings, it's mechanics 101, I know, but maybe some people don't know how to do it properly. Maybe some people have only ever done it with a machine and don't understand the principles. So I thought I'd share it with you. I'm really thrilled with the way that's turning out. It's like it's got new shoes. So we'll get the other side done, and then I need to make some ramps for this, but I've got several big loads of logs over to the farm I need to bring home. So we'll get that done. And get stocked up on some firewood to get it through until February or so, and then we'll have to get more. But all right, that's going to do it. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. As always, don't forget, because it's important.